Three, two, one, roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody, to the Strategy Sprints podcast. I'm your host, Simon Severino. What if you could hang out with sprinters and ask them about their problems, their workflows, and their solutions? That's exactly what we do here on the Strategy Sprints podcast every day. And today we explore with the CEO of Igniting Souls why core, creator, and community matter, and how to turn your book into 18 streams of income. Welcome, everybody, Kary Oberbrunner.
Hey, great to be here, my friend. I love it.
So cool to have you here. And I am just writing a book, so you got my attention.
Oh, good. I want to help out.
18 streams of income?
Yes.
I am going to take notes. But first, awesome. What are you currently creating?
I'll tell you what, man. I just finished a book called Show Up, Filled Up. And it's a book all about how to partner with influencers. So a lot of times I meet people who say, oh, I'd love to meet Elon Musk or Oprah, or, all these big people. And they really want to be able to pitch to those big influencers their product or service. But that's the problem. They're showing up empty when they do that. And so everyone's trying to pitch these people. So what I do is I take Zig Ziglar's quote that says, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. Everybody loves that quote. But up until now, no one's broken that process down into a simple steps. So I created 8 steps on how to get anyone to do anything that you want.
Wow.
It's a little bit edgy because people think the subtitle, they're like, how to get people to do what you want. That sounds manipulative but here's the point. Listen, if you do walk around and you know how to add value to other people and serve them, then what they do is they say, oh my gosh, how can I return the favor? And so it really breaks down that big mystery into simple steps.
Oh, can you share the steps with us?
I'll share one of them. Or I could open up the book and read all 8. But here's step number 1. Step number 1 is that most people don't know what they want. So for example, I hear this all the time. I hear people say, oh, like, Simon, you are so good, man. If you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you. Well, that's actually a really bad statement. Because it's good motives, but it says, I don't care enough about you to figure out what you want. And if you go up to most people in life and say, hey, what do you really want? They're going to be like, what are you talking about? So what I've learned how to do is how to crack the code on how to find out what people want. And then when you go to them in a humble, teachable way, like you don't want to go up to, I honestly saw this one time. It's horrible. I saw a speaker who was overweight and someone came up to them in front of a family while they're eating dinner. And they said, I'll call the guy John. They're like, hey, John, you really need to get healthy. And I'm here to help you. And I was, oh my gosh, it was like horrible. It was horrible. So just because you know what they want, now you have to position it in a way that, get this, I say that you get them to lean in. Why? Because it's easier to kiss when someone's leaning in. It's a weird metaphor, but you get the point. So it's basically how to get influencers to lean in and to give so much value that you create rapport, trust. Let me give you another one here, just because you asked. I'm going to bring up the book. It's right here, my friend. So we'll get there. These are 8 steps. Here you go. Here's another one. All right. Becoming valuable makes you visible. Ooh, that's good. Think about that for a second. Becoming valuable makes you visible. Everybody I know says, I want a bigger platform. I want more followers. I want more fans. I want more affiliate partners. Think about it. I want. That's showing up empty. So the book is all about how to show up filled up. And one of the ways you show up filled up is you become valuable. So let's give this an example here. I was on the phone the other day with a great influencer. I purchased his program. He's my coach. I'm not going to say, his name's Dan. I'm not going to say, hey, Dan, my login didn't work last night. My username didn't work. My password didn't work. You don't want to give any friction to your influencer. If you got to be careful what you say around them. So for example, check this out. Most people are walking around lying in bed, blame, excuses, and denial, right? You like that BED, blame, excuses, and denial. That's what they talk about when they're around influencers. Like the influencers like, how you doing today? Oh, let me tell you about the traffic. Oh, let me tell you about the economy. You're repelling the influencer. What you want to do is you want to show up with OAR, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. You put your oar in the water and move forward. So these are little tools that I give along the way, but it's really you showing up filled up, doing your work, doing your thinking ahead of time so that when you're in the presence of an influencer, they're like, oh my gosh, this person is amazing. And then they bring you up to their platform.
Wow. And so tell us, what are you currently working on with people? Can you share an example of your client work?
Oh yeah. So there's a guy who owns the largest TikTok agency in Canada. His name's Mark LaChance. And so I now have a private client program. So what I learned a long time ago is I can help a lot of people wide, which I've done, for 18 years. But recently what I'm doing is I'm saying I want to go deep with a few people. And so I have a private client program. It's expensive. But what I basically do is I work with these people one-on-one, and I turn their books into 18 streams of income. And I know you're passionate about that. So maybe we just jump in with some of the 18 streams.
Yeah, 18. I'm just writing a book right now, so I'm ready.
What is your topic?
You're the nuts.
What is your book topic? Because I'll literally coach you right now.
Let's do this right now. The book is called The Strategy Sprints: How to Run an Agile Company. And it's about the 12 things that we do in the 12 weeks program, and that they have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs double their revenue. And I'm just sharing, basically channeling what my coaches are doing every week and sharing some examples. This is how you do positioning, how you do sales, how you do marketing.
Yes. Okay. So give me that subtitle one more time.
How to run an agile company.
An agile company. Okay. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. Ready? Check this out, man. I'm going to coach you for a few minutes here. You need to add 3 benefits to your subtitle. So let me give an example. Okay. Tim Ferriss. You know Tim Ferriss, right? The 4-hour work week. Notice this. He's got 3 benefits. They all start with a verb. Escape the 9 to 5, join the new rich, live anywhere. So the 4-hour work week, that's the hook. Just like your title is the hook, Strategy Sprints. That's a good book title. But then how to run an agile company so that you benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3. So let's talk about that. Why would people say, I want an agile company? What do you think?
Reduce risk, increase momentum, double revenue.
Oh my gosh. You nailed that. Oh, that was the best I've ever had. Seriously,
I gotta write it down.
That was the best, fastest I've ever had. So see, you knew it. You knew it. But see, now in all your ads, that's what you go after. So for example, one of my books is called Day Job to Dream Job. And it's freedom, finances, and fulfillment, right? So it's the freedom to go where you please, earn as you wish, and live as you like. So these roll off the tongue. So when people see your ads, instead of seeing strategy sprints and they're like, ooh, I want that book. No, the book title's going to catch them. Then they're going to see agile company. And by the way, that's really hot. because I've never heard, you might have heard it, but I've never heard Agile company. That's really hot. So that's, in my opinion, here's what you need to do. You need to coin that term. So I would seriously, after this thing, I don't know if we're live, but I would go buy a domain. And here's what you do. You now have defined, what's the opposite of Agile? I don't know. I'm gonna look. I think it's
opposite, so Agile means adaptable, responsive.
Okay.
The opposite is something that cannot adapt quickly, cannot
Well,
respond.
let's say it's rigid.
Rigid.
Okay. So here's what you do. In all your graphics, all your marketing, you have rigid company, Agile company. And what you do is you begin to polarize these two in the book. So now get this. You ready for this? You have the Agile Assessment, which becomes your lead magnet. And they have a score of 10. And you have 10 questions. And you basically say, like, how quickly can you pivot when you get bad news? And then you might say, like, 5 immediately. And then 1 might be like, never, you know? So anyway, you create, but I have in my book, the Unhackable book, the Unhackability Assessment. And so you later on, when you're done, you can go there and just look at my assessment and copy it and make your own. But it's unhackablebook.com. Okay, so you already see, like, we changed the subtitle. We got your assessment. We've coined the 2 categories where you have Agile company, rigid company, which is super cool. Now we can layer the 18 streams of income. Okay, so you ready?
Ready.
Okay. All right. So what I'm really getting cutting edge with is blockchain. Okay, so like that's a whole nother stream of income that we could do for you around blockchain and some really tricked out stuff. It would take a 3-hour podcast, so we won't do that. But just know that you could create NFTs, non-fungible tokens, or blockchain. That's one cutting edge, brand new. Okay, but besides that, the more traditional ones would be a conference. So the strategy sprints conference. Okay. And again, everything that I say, I do. So this isn't theory. You can go to ignitingsoulsconference.com and see every year for 10 years, I've had a conference where I drop in my latest book and hundreds of people come. It's awesome. So you can go to ignitingsoulsconference.com and see an example. Okay. Next, you're already thinking this way, but do you have a strategy sprint certification?
We do.
There you go. So there's a stream of income. You had the income before the book, but now that you have the book, you can blow up the certification. In other words, what you need to do is at the back of your book, you have back ads. So back ads, most people do not think about, oh, they get to the end of the book. So what? Well, that's the important part. It's a buyer's journey. In other words, they got you hooked on iTunes for free. But then what do? You buy an iPhone and an Apple Watch and an Air. They get you hooked on the freemium, and then they put all these other streams of income that are upsells. Well, you need to think of strategy sprints like that. It's an integrated product suite.
So the last page of the book is an own page that says, hey, by the way, what you just were reading, you can really do it. Go here and do it.
Exactly. I'm at one of my clients' house, and so I'm picking up, so I'm his publisher. Great book, by the way. But you know, at the back of the book, we have next steps, you see? And so here it is, like next steps. So but not only that, you don't just stuff it at the back of the book. You actually drop key elements throughout the book. So for example, weave in client stories. Because as you talk about your clients, the reader realizes, oh my gosh, they're a service provider. You don't want to just like write a good story and at the end be like, hey, here's some back ads. But during the book, at the first page of the book, what you should do is say, have you taken the agility assessment? Because here's what you want to see some ninja stuff. Amazon allows people to see the first page as part of the look inside. So even the people who don't read your book but click it and click look inside, if they see on the first page an assessment, now you've just built your email list.
Man, you have just made me a couple millions.
But see, this is this is why I charge a lot for my private clients, because what I do is I save them years. I mean, most people are just like, oh, I'm going to write a book. Listen, and if you ask them, you say why, and here's the lie people believe. You might have heard this. They say, well, my book is just a business card. Whoa, hold on. Your book is just a business card? What do most people do with business cards? They throw them in the trash, right? So your book is not a business card. Your book is a business. You see that? Big difference. And you're thinking right by saying 18 streams of income. So here's some other things. Do you have a strategy sprints course? I don't know. Do you? Could you?
Sure.
You could easily do that. In fact, most courses, the chapters become the modules. So like your chapters in your book, module 1, chapter 1, module 2. But here's the difference. You might say, why would people pay $15 for a book and then $500 for a course? Well, here's why. It's interactive. In the book, they're sitting there on the bench watching the game be played, and they're a spectator. When you have a course and you have Simon saying, okay, right now, stop the recording, go to your guidebook and answer the question, why have you struggled being an agile company? Like, boom, now they're in the game, and people pay to be in the game. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And let's jump to the edgy stuff. NFT. All my friends right now, they are talking about nothing else. They're starting podcasts on NFT. They are tattooing NFTs on their computer. I had today 10 minutes of a spare time. Of course, I was buying Bitcoin and Ethereum in that time. So it's the thing.
It is the thing.
But what should we do with these NFTs? What should I NFT? My book? My keynote? What?
So for those who don't know, NFT, non-fungible token, it basically allows you to create a digital collectible or a token. You know that with Ethereum, you can create smart contracts on top of just a token. And so Gary Vee did this recently, where he essentially launched an NFT that unlocked VCon, his conference. So what you could do is you could put around your NFT, like a cover of your book or, some kind of cool art. And there's plenty of people who can do that. But what you want to layer on top of the NFT is you want to tap into the smart contract. And the smart contract could say that for these 5 tokens, 1 of 5, you're going to get a strategy sprints coach, or you're going to get whatever. I would have to study what your product offering is, but you can put in that NFT what's called off-chain benefits. Off-chain benefits. Gary Vee put go bowling with Gary. It doesn't have to be coaching. It could literally be like, if you like rock climbing, put that as part of your NFT. A rock climbing session with Simon. What people are doing is they're blending the digital with the physical. Does this make sense? And experiential.
Is the idea that you build something that because of its scarcity will be bought, or are you doing this to create a smart contract that you want to use many times, or is it something else? Why do we do NFTs in the first place?
We do NFTs because we've changed the way we view the world. So for example, my son plays video games. He plays Fortnite. In the video game, you have skins. So think about it, Simon. You used to pull up to a party in a Lamborghini and people would be like, whoa, that dude's got a Lamborghini, like, whoa, social currency, immediately all these things. Well, guess what? People are driving up digitally to your house through the internet. So do you get what I'm saying? So now we live in the internet world where it used to be like, hey, I'm in a picture with Michael Jordan and here we are, you know. Now you can own Michael Jordan's NFT. And so now when you physically drive up to someone's house, or when people, someday people are going to access your wallet, where you store your NFTs, and you're going to be able to show that I got Tom Brady's, card. I went to Burning Man. Like immediately you're going to, I went to that concert. And so you're going to immediately have this social currency where it's like, we know each other. I mean, imagine if we started today and you said where you're from, you're in Austria, right now. Imagine if I said, you're in Austria? Oh my gosh. Have you eaten at that bread place right down the road? And you're like, oh my gosh, I go there like immediately what would have happened is we would have grown closer together because of a shared experience. Now with NFTs, you can literally show your portfolio and be like, I was at the 21 Pilots concert in 2020. Oh my gosh, so was I. And so there's that element. Here's what I say. 3 things: image, investments, and IP. NFTs are for 3 reasons: image, investments, and IP. Or I say this: status, right? Status and image are the same thing. And then you have security, and that's IP. And then you have investments. And I forget what my other S is here. I've been doing a lot of research. Hang on, my friend. But the point is this: like, you have to recognize that some people want NFTs only for status. They're like, hey man, I got what is it? I got Tom Brady's NFT status. Other people say, I want to buy low and sell high. They're using it as an investment purpose. And other people say, I don't want anyone to steal Strategy Sprint's IP, name. And so I'm going to protect it. So those are the 3 motivations why people go. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And so will it be like today we do trademarks and we do registered and patents? Will it be on that level? It's a smart contract, but will it be like the place?
It'll be better. And here's why. Everyone can see it. Like, who knows where you find patents? You got to go like look and stuff. And then you get into fights about patents and you're like, well, I had that one first. With blockchain technology, it's called immutable, which means that it cannot be tampered with. It cannot be changed. And so literally, if you came up with strategy sprints and I'm like, whoa, hold on, man, I had that in 2010. And you're like, well, prove it. Check out the blockchain. And I can show you the exact exact ledger entry where I came up with strategy sprints. All of a sudden, you're like, "Well, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to write a book about that because you may come after me." So it's defense and it's offense.
So it's like domains. We should start checking the things we want to own later and go there and.
Well, this is. I wasn't going to drop it, but you keep asking. But this is my new company. I mean, this is what we do. So we help people, creators, business owners, for those 3 different reasons. Do they want I know what it is: status, security, and stocks. That's what I meant. Status, security, and stocks. I mean, that's the concept. So we come to you and we say, what's your motivation? And you might be like, Kary, I just want status. And so fine, we work with an artist, a musician, and we create NFTs because it's like status. I got the 1 of 1 of Tom Brady or NBA Top Shot and this type of thing. But other people say, no, man, like I know that the brand is increasing. I know that Oprah's brand is increasing over time and only going to continue to increase. So I'll buy the NFT and then I'll sell it here. Here's what else you can do. You can put in their royalties. So this is nutty, all right? Let's say I have a Marvel, let's say I have a Wonder Woman lunchbox from the 80s. Marvel only got paid once. Marvel got paid when I bought that lunchbox. With an NFT, you can put in the smart contract that every time it's resold, Marvel gets 20%. So if that thing changed 25 hands in the last 30 years, Marvel just made more and more and more and more money.
That's a good contract. And also in the chat, people are going down our rabbit hole. Anil Tumar, blockchain technology will be changed everything?
Oh, absolutely. People are going to get married online, meaning their marriage certificate's going to be online. Your car deed is going to be online. And you might say, why? Well, part of it's security. People can't hack it. But I mean, we're talking about the voting thing that blew up in the US. You could stuff ballots. Were they being counted? There was so much hostility. I mean, it almost tore apart our country because of the voting discrepancy. Now, when it's tied to the blockchain, there is no discrepancy.
Absolutely.
So
I've been just vaccinated, and I got it on a thing of paper. So I go running, I run with this thing of paper. It will break at some part. So it's the least smart technology to run around with your data on papers right now, right? So
that's right.
It will be an easy leap to something smarter. How many NFTs did you create? Do you own?
I'll tell you what. I'll show you my latest here. So
it's right there.
So it's on the phone. That's called MetaMask. That's a wallet. Okay. And then, password protected. It's all fingerprint, right? So I click that. It's opening the MetaMask. And then what I can do is I can go to my NFTs. And you ready for this? It's pretty slick. Show up, filled up. That's my book.
Here we go.
So that is
there.
You could, but my goal in that was to demonstrate that I don't just believe in this, but I'm doing it. I think anytime you see an influencer online who's like, oh, you can create your book into 18 streams of income, go see if they're doing it. So like for me, you can go to ignitingsouls.com. That's my publishing company, ignitingsouls.com. And you can literally click and then type in 18 streams. So ignitingsouls.com/18 streams. And you will see we give people a free training, we give people a free guidebook, and they can see it all for themselves. That's transparency. And that's what I want people to do online is to look past all the smoke and mirrors, do the research and see, is this person really just selling something, or did they really build their business on this model for the last 18 years? So that's my ask. And I know I studied you I get asked a lot to be on things. And so my assistant, Mike, he's like, hey man, I did the research. Simon's legit. You should be on this show. Because you can tell about social currency, reviews, followers. And it's not like I only go on big shows, but your show's great. It's a brand match. And so, by the way, if you're watching this show and you like it, give him a review. He's dedicating his life, blood, sweat, and tears to serve you. The way you can give back is to give him a review right now.
Yeah, buy our NFTs. I don't have any yet, but I will. After this show, I will have some NFTs. I'm intrigued. I was just thinking, okay, what do I NFT today?
I hear you.
I have even a MetaMask because I do coach startups, and some of these they pay in equity, and some of that equity is tokenized. So I have even the thing, I can go and do it. How does one do an NFT? is it done in MetaMask or somewhere else and stored in MetaMask?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's getting into a lot of stuff with our blockchain development team, and we're doing some cutting edge stuff. So I can't go there yet. We're ready. If you like this topic, you and I can chat offline, but I'm telling your audience, if they like this topic, watch what we're doing, because things are going to be dropping in the next few weeks, like big stuff. And, I rarely hold secrets, but I just feel like I got to hold that tight. So
I need a suspense sound. I don't have it. I go with Jimi Hendrix. Beautiful. And I'm so pumped. I will ask you so much more after one word from our sponsors.
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
This guest just made me a couple million. It's incredible. But I want to know from you, if you can pick only one person where everybody's zigging, this person is zagging, who do you pick?
Who do I listen to?
Who do you pick? You can give the strategy award to one person that is zigging when everybody's zagging. But from your perspective, they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, 100% Dan Sullivan. And a lot of people, so Dan Sullivan is the founder of Strategic Coach, and it's international. He's 77-ish. He's making more money in his life. He wrote a book called How I'm Going to Live to 156.
156?
Listen, the guy is an enigma. He's an anomaly. He burns, I think, 1,000 calories every day. He doesn't watch TV. But if you look like behind, okay, so check this out. Behind Elon Musk is Peter Diamandis. Peter Diamandis founded the X Prize. Peter Diamandis just interviewed Elon Musk before the rockets went off, 6 weeks ago. Guess who is Peter Diamandis' coach? Dan Sullivan. Okay, Jeff Walker, Product Launch Formula. Who's his coach? Dan Sullivan. Michael Hyatt, who's his coach? Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan is the world's most successful entrepreneurial coach. I heard him on a podcast with Darren Hardy of Success Magazine back in 2013, and I'm like, oh my gosh, someday I want to meet him. And then I looked and I saw how much his program was. It's like, because I was a pastor. Like, that's my old job. I was a minister, son of a minister's. But so back then I couldn't afford him. But then I became an entrepreneur, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna meet him, but someday I want to be his business partner. I mean, imagine this, right? Like, the guy who used to be a cutter, self-injurer, the guy who used to be in stuttering issue, depression, suicidal thoughts. I mean, little old me, bald guy with a girl's name, a little joke there. But guess what? We've now created what he calls Free Zone Frontiers. It's a business partnership. So I'm his publisher. I published all of his books. He and get this, crazy. This is how he thinks so different. Guess who gets all the profit from his books? Me. Isn't that crazy? Do you know why? Because he says, Kary, if people read my book and join my coaching program, they've followed the buyer's journey. So Dan is a guy who understands that his book is a lead generation tool to get people into his coaching program. And guess what? It works. It's absolutely working. So Dan is a guy who thinks very differently. And him and I are really tight, and we're working on some cool projects together.
Did I see Dan's ad on the back of another book recently? And I was asking myself, what is this thing in the back? That might be number 18 of the income streams, or even 19. At the back, you can do an ad of another book.
Oh, yeah.
create a collaboration that way. And I think I saw that on some cover.
Did I send you an unhackable book or no?
No, not yet.
I want to. Listen, what happens, would it help your audience if I gave them a free gift? No email required?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to drop a code here. So if they go to, and this is for you too. So if they go to unhackablebook.com, unhackablebook.com, we didn't even talk about that today, and then it's /club book. Okay, no spaces. Unhackablebook.com/club book. And then the password is unhackable. They can get the audio and the ebook absolutely free, no email required. It's just, I just want to give it away. It's a private link. But anyway, yeah, in the back of that book, you'll see that I advertise all my other books. And I even advertise one of Dan's books. So yeah, you can cross promote, makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, so it was your book that I saw.
You did.
And yeah, it seems like. And so what's because that's an influencer to influencer collaboration. How do you pick the right person to partner with for your area? And how do you arrange the collaboration?
Yeah.
How do you do a smart collaboration out of that, a smart contract?
So here's the thing. Partnership is like a marriage. A collaboration is a date. Okay, so you date when you collaborate, you get married when you partner. Okay, and people need to realize that difference, because if they're like, oh, I want to partner with this person, hold on, like that could be a long-term thing, and there could be, agreements that need to be signed. But just dating is a collaboration. So an example would be, hey, Simon, let's do an online summit. Let's collaborate. You bring people, I'll bring people. We'll split the profits, boom, boom, boom. The reason why you want to do that is you'll see the person's character in the process. You'll see their work ethic. You'll see if they hustle. You'll see if they make excuses. And you want to do all that before you get partnered. And so that's really important. My best book on partnerships would be that Show Up, Filled Up, because I talk about how to be a good partner, how to find a good partner. But here's the other thing. You have to be bringing something to the table that the other person can't bring. Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs made a great partnership because they each brought, in Dan Sullivan's words, a different, unique ability. What I see too many times is people are just lonely. They're a lonely entrepreneur. The other entrepreneur is lonely, and they say, hey, let's partner up. And then they partner up and they realize, you know what, we're doing the same thing, so one of us isn't needed. And then they break up. So Dan brings things to the table that I don't, and I bring things that he doesn't, and therefore it's a great partnership.
I love this. And this seems to be your thing. We can show up filled up, we can show up empty. And I guess that can be applied on many levels, right? The energy level, the value that you bring, etc. Can you tell us more about this concept?
Yeah, and I can, and I got about 5 more minutes, because then I got to roll too. But this has been amazing. So showing up filled up, I'll tell you what it means for me. It means eating right, sleeping right, exercising right. You might say, why? Because if I'm in a meeting and I'm like chilling like this, and that's not showing up filled up. I had someone come up to me recently and say, oh my gosh, your whole team has batteries included. Okay, and like a woman named Christy Chambers said that. And I love that. And I said, tell me more. And she's like, when we were on Zoom, they were engaged. You could tell they weren't surfing all around. They were asking questions. The chat was blowing up. And her words for showing up filled up is batteries included. But that's what it means. It means that you don't have to motivate people. You don't have to inspire them. Like you and I are having this engaging, you showed up filled up, I showed up filled up. It means showing up on time. It means the little plug I gave for your podcast. Like that wasn't an accident. I'm a podcaster. I know reviews matter. So you see what I did right there? I did a little bit of a ninja tactic for people who
You came prepared and you came high energy.
Yeah. And think about it though. What I did, and this is a great takeaway for people. Whenever I'm the one paying the money for a product, this sounds really weird, but hang with me. If I'm the one paying for the product, I treat the other person like my client. Now, hold on. Let me explain that. That's like ninja stuff right there. Because everyone else is like, I paid you, you serve me, you owe me. When you flip it and you realize that the person on the other end, the person who's mowing your lawn, the person who's checking out your clothes at the store, the cable person on the phone, when you realize they're a person with dreams and pain and desires and aspirations, and you start treating them like a human, here's what happens. They end up crazy hooking you up. Do you see what I'm saying?
I love this. Now, this is the pastor coming. I love this.
Well, it is biblical. It is biblical. But that's my secret to business, is to say, listen, like, so when I was an author, and now I'm a publisher, but when I was the author and the publisher was supposed to be serving me, I would be the one who bought the entire team pizza as a thank you. But I'm the one who's actually paying the bills with my royalties. But that's the difference. Now, who do you think they marketed better? Wait, when it came time for them to market an author, are they like, well, let's choose Jimmy? No, Jimmy didn't buy his pizza. Like, Kary bought us pizza and we had a pizza party and it was great. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't go into it keeping score. Because if you go into showing up filled up, keeping score, you'll always be disappointed. Because not everyone's going to reciprocate. But if you just have an attitude and a life of show up filled up, you're going to get so much more value. People say to me, you're so lucky, Kary. You're so lucky. Everywhere you go, people hook you up. It's not, I had to learn the hard way, by the way. Trust me. I was the guy who was the taker instead of the giver, the climber instead of the connector. You know what a climber is? A climber is like, hey, Simon, yeah, that's cool. Very nice. But who else is in the room? You see, that's a climber. So takers and climbers, you want to be connectors and givers.
Oh man, this is an amazing episode right there. This was part 1, people. This is the beginning of this conversation. I love it. You made a couple millions for me just in coaching me for my book at the beginning.
Awesome.
And now you are giving away something that is so full of wisdom and can change everybody's life listening right now. If we just check how we treat people, if we see them as human beings with feelings and longings and treat them that way. And if we do it really consistently, this is how we show up filled up.
Yes.
And that changes everything.
100%.
I love this.
All right, my friend.
Thank you so much. Where can people find your stuff?
Yeah. I'll say there are a lot of places, but I think if they just go to KaryOberbrunner.com, that's my name, and that's where a lot of my stuff is.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. And next time we talk, I will show you my NFTs.
Cannot wait. All right.
See you soon, my friend. Bye-bye.
Hey, we'll see you.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.